I'd like to call the Plan Commission meeting for Tuesday, September 3rd to order. Roll call, please, Terry.
Mary Kodowski.
Here.
Ken Bukowski.
Here.
Gary Paul.
Here.
Corey Campbell.
Here.
Allison Williams.
Here.
Jim Allen.
Present.
And Skippington's excused.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remember our men and women throughout the world in uniform. I need action on the agenda. I have no changes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carried. Action on the minutes from the Plan Commission regular meeting August 13th, 2019.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed.
For the record, I would have been here had it been on a regular night,
We
but,
don't need excuses.
yeah, I know.
Okay, number 6, comments from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda. We have no public here that is
What is that?
any issue.
Isn't that
This
public?
gentleman right here is for an item on the
He
agenda.
looks like a public.
He's not a public because he's here for the next item. He was
He's
at
not a
site
public.
plan for the
You're
other,
not public,
for the
you look
last
He's a
item.
familiar face today.
Okay, so
thought
we're
he
gonna
was a
go to
new
number
employee.
7. Action items, 7A, action regarding a requested two-lot certified survey map for parcel VA-228-14-L-74-1 on Wabi Lane and Parkview Road. Aaron.
The requested CSM is for the property that houses Nelson Machine. What they're doing is they're separating out the northern half of the parcel and the buildings from the southern half of the parcel and buildings. The northern lot will front on Wabi, and the southern lot will front on Parkview. Couple items of note, one of which is that the western end of the certified survey map does include a drainage way through there, which does have floodplain and floodway, which I will make sure to notify the property owner. Any work within that area would require permits from the DNR, Village of Ashwaubenon, and FEMA. One item of note requested by engineering is to show and label the sanitary sewer easement along the conservancy on the west side of the property. That would be the only condition of approval that staff would have. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
Question. Is that Nelson Machine, is that owned by Nelson themselves?
Offhand, I'm not sure.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to picture something in my mind about that parcel.
Is everybody okay with that? I mean, Mary and Allison and you?
Yeah, we did the staff review on it, and the only issue that came up was identifying the that sanitary sewer easement. Yeah, it meets all the standards of the zoning district, setbacks, so on and so forth.
All right, I'll move for the approval of the two-lot certified survey map for parcel VA-228-14-L-74-1 with the condition of showing and labeling the sanitary sewer easement along the conservancy on the west side of the property.
Oh,
Okay, do we have a second?
second.
I have a motion and a second to approve 7A with the condition of them labeling sanitary sewer along the property. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. 7B, action regarding amending a planned unit development PUD overlay zoning district for certain land located at Brookwood Drive and Marley Lane, Titletown District Development Phase 2. Aaron.
The requested PUD amendment is for Titletown Phase 1 for the apartment building itself. The proposal is to increase the maximum square footage from 160,000 square feet to 185,000 square feet. The number of apartment units will actually increase from the planned 147 to 152. The increase in square footage is not just for those 7 units. That increase in square footage is spread throughout the building. So that's how the numbers work out on the requested square footage. The total height above podium level will be a total of 6 stories. It will still be lower than the proposed office building for which they are obtaining FAA approval from the airport for height purposes. Also, in terms of height, the proposed apartment will still remain below the 90-foot maximum height identified for the apartment in the PUD. In order to accommodate the additional square footage, the parking has actually been increased to 1,894 above the 1,875 required by village code. One additional small change was to clarify some language regarding signage and as far as the process by which certain signage can be approved. It takes into account or clarifies the PUD appendix that was included for the signage purposes. It was something we dealt with that site plan earlier today regarding a signage issue, and site plan did recommend approval of this PUD as well. One item we want to mention is that there is a typo in the recommendation. The recommendation should read, recommend approval of the PUD amendment requesting an increase in Lot M, allowable square footage to 185,000 square feet, increase the minimum parking spaces provided instead of required to 1,894 stalls, in clarification and signage approval process. I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. Otherwise, Devin Carruthers of Kaufman Development is also in the audience.
Like Aaron mentioned, this went through site plan this afternoon. We didn't see any problems with what they're doing there. It does meet all the PUD specs that are required, so if there is no other questions, I would recommend we approve the action required for the PUD development overlay zoning district.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the amended planned unit development overlay zoning district in 7B. Okay, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 7C, action regarding a planned unit development, PUD, overlay zoning district for 2181 South Oneida Street, parcels VA-90-4-3, VA-90-4-10, VA-90-4-9, and the west 50 feet of parcel, VA-90-4-9. Aaron.
The proposed PUD is for the redevelopment of the Nifong property located at the northeast corner of Marvell and South Oneida Street. The proposal is for a 4-story office building to replace the existing 1-story office building currently on the site. The PUD is requested to increase the maximum height from 36 feet to 55 feet to the top of the building parapet, and to reduce the minimum green space from 10% to 7%. In the interest of making sure the neighbors were okay with this, Mr. Nifong did hold a neighborhood meeting last week. At the community center, we had 5 neighbors attend. They're generally supportive. They're more curious than anything else to see what was going on. A couple conditions of the PUD rezoning I'd recommend include approval of Austin Straubel International Airport of the requested building height, as the proposed building is within Zone C of the airport zoning district, and approval of a development agreement with Nifong Realty by the Ashwaubenon Village Board. Since there are a couple of conditions of approval, those would be my recommendation. I'd be happy to answer any additional questions you may have regarding the proposal.
I have to say that I gave somebody some misinformation at that informational meeting. I told them that it only exceeded the minimum height of 36 feet, or the maximum height by 6 feet, and I was wrong. It is 19 feet. So I did give some misinformation on that, so. Anyway.
So, I'm sorry.
Were these neighbors residential or business?
Pardon?
Were the neighbors that attended that meeting, were they from the residential side of the street or the commercial side?
Both.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Now, have you been involved in the negotiations after our last closed session, and are those things moving along?
Yes, sir, they are.
They seem to be acceptable?
We're on the same page.
Okay.
We just need to formalize what's been discussed so far in our development agreement.
Okay. So so this would be subject to a development agreement between the village board and Mr. Nifong?
And FAA clearance from Green Bay International Airport. Mhm.
With those two conditions, I move to approve then,
Second.
or subject to those two conditions.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the PUD overlay zoning for 2181 South Oneida Street with the two conditions of FAA approval and also the development agreement being approved between Nifong and the village board. Any questions?
This was brought up at a prior meeting. This will be one of the tightest requirements that we're going to make on this particular project with the things that we had to deal with these people, so I don't have any problem with it. We got them all ironed up, but I want to make sure they're all covered as presented.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Any items for next agenda? Thanks. Have a good week, Devin.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We're done.